All right. Check the sound. Well, welcome back, everyone watching now and in the future. It has been 3 years and about a week. Yeah, about 3 years and a week that we have been living in Ecuador, and that is what today's live stream is about. So, as people come in, please feel free to ask questions. But we want to talk about some of the things that, so we get our chairs right here.
What is?
It's right here. I feel like I'm leaning way over here. Anyway, we want to talk about some of the things that we have done and learned about living abroad and about ourselves, which is can be just as important because you learn a lot about yourself when you're. I don't want to say trapped with someone. I don't want to sound like that. When you're with someone consistently, and you have to, learn to get along and do things together that maybe you didn't have time to do together before. So,
I don't know why he's keep looking at me because I'm not going to respond. So
she's trapped with me. Anyway, yeah, we just want to talk about some of the things that have been going on since we've been living in Ecuador. Some of the things that have changed, and a lot has changed in our life actually over the past few years. And I think we want to start first. Let me say thank you. Like I said, anyone watching, in the future, thank you for supporting the channel, our growth. It's slow but steady. Really, all we can ask for. We do this to keep ourselves busy, a little fun, and we really appreciate it. Check out our other channels. We'll plug those again later. But yeah, wanted to say that we have learned a lot about ourselves. So to start, LaShawn,
Steven.
what are some of the things that we have learned to live without?
A lot. We've learned to live without a car.
Yeah.
For first and foremost, we've learned that we don't need much to live in Ecuador. We don't need much living with each other.
Yeah.
We just don't need as much as we needed when we were in the U.S. because living in the U.S. definitely need a car. I could not take a bus to work. I couldn't take a train to work. I had to drive because I went through two tunnels.
Yeah, depending on which way you went to
Yeah,
work.
it
Yeah.
depends on which way I went to work. So we've learned that less is more.
Yeah. And it's not even so much that, like, there are some things that we needed in the U.S. that we don't need here, but then there are things that we just didn't need at all that we had anyway. And when you leave the country and you're in a situation where you probably are going to have fewer of the things that you may have had in the previous country, you
Mm-hmm.
start to learn that you really didn't need a lot of
What
the
you
stuff
were
that you had.
exactly.
And we kind of figured that out honestly.
What
Well,
we
not
planned
yeah.
when we left not to have as much.
Yeah.
Um,
And when we were downsizing the house before we sold
yeah,
it, um,
we saw a lot of stuff we didn't need and
and we
got
never were
rid.
really excessive with anything. It's just that,
It accumulates
yeah,
with anything.
yeah,
I mean, even if you go, let's say, you buy a few things in your house. Do I need a deep freezer now? I had one before,
right.
but
We've
do I
always
need
had one. Yeah,
do I need one now? Not gonna eat that much. I'm not feeding a family of four or five It's just the two of us, and what doesn't fit in the freezer of the refrigerator, it won't.
It doesn't
We
get
won't be
purchased.
bought.
Uh,
But
yeah,
you do accumulate stuff because
yeah.
sometimes you need something, and you're like, how often am I going to use this? Or,
Or in a situation where you're buying something because, like, I guess when we're in the U.S., you'll catch something on sale or there'll be some kind of clearance. Something going
yes,
really hurt more than me, but because that's what you would do. You would search for deals. So she might buy something because it was a deal, not because she actually needed it.
no, I needed it.
Okay, at the time, yes, she needed it, but anyway, that stuff accumulated because by the time we
Yes,
left the U.S., we had been together 25 years, so we
yes,
had accumulated a lot of
a
stuff.
lot of stuff. You got tools. Um,
Just like I don't know stuff that the kids had left, and
yeah, because then you have a shed in the back. You have a tool shed. You have lawnmowers. You have weed eaters. You have everything
all our
to
fishing
make
gear.
to maintain your household. Um, like, for instance, a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, okay. We were talking about this the other day, and in Ecuador, it is not common to have carpeted floors.
Right.
Um, if you find a fully carpeted place, let me know because I don't know if they exist here. But
I mean, there's some places that have carpet.
yeah, I'm talking about fully. Like in the United States, you might have a home that's just fully carpeted, especially if it's a one level house.
Not fully carpeted.
Depending on what part of the country you live in, it probably is.
In the
Except
kitchen?
no, I mean fully carpeted.
Bathroom?
Okay, excluding the places where in New York people like bathroom carpet. I found that out
Ugh.
years ago.
That's disgusting.
It is. Sorry if you're from New York, but anyway, what I'm saying is it's not common to find carpeted floors here. So you don't see nearly the assortment of vacuum cleaners in the store that you would normally see anywhere in the U.S., maybe Canada too. And we really realized, like in the U.S., we always had, her nice vacuum and a shop vac because you need a shop vac. You need to vacuum out your car. You make a mess. The wet dry shop vac. Well, here all we have is one rug, and that gets limited traffic, and those solid floors everywhere, or wood. So
Oh, you get towel. You
or
made
tile, yeah.
towel
So
floors.
basically, you're in a situation where you're saying to yourself, do I actually need a vacuum cleaner, or would I need a shop vac? Like, do I need something that only does one thing, or something that does two things?
Okay, so before you go, I'm sorry to
Hmm.
interrupt, but when we got the vacuum cleaner, we were not living in Cuenca. We were living in Salinas, and
Oh
the
yeah,
floors were what is it, porcelain?
I think so. It's attracted everything.
So you can sweep, and it seems like it just moves.
You had
It
to
was
sweep
just
every day.
moving stuff around. So we decided to get a vacuum cleaner to vacuum up little specks of what was it, sand that
Just
come,
like whatever that stuff was floating around in the air in Salinas, I'm not even sure. That stuff would just be everywhere after a while.
and you had to mop every day because the little specks that he's talking about
Yeah.
was all over the floor.
Especially the kitchen. Especially the kitchen.
Yeah,
Anywhere where you stepped a lot, you really had to mop it and
and
sweep
don't
it.
drop something because if you drop something, it tracks.
Yeah, he's gonna walk around. He's gonna track it
Yeah.
everywhere.
But go back to what you were saying. So
So yeah, it's that vacuum cleaner. It broke on us. Blame me actually. Maybe I'm a little heavy handed. I broke it.
he's
But
very heavy handed.
I realized here in Cuenca that we didn't need a vacuum cleaner. I didn't need a vacuum cleaner as much as I needed a shop vac. And just for shop vac so useful for so many things. So basically, what we did was Frankenstein a situation where we got a shop vac after our vacuum cleaner broke. Our vacuum cleaner had a bunch of attachments that came with it, like the carpet and flat floor attachment that you use like a regular vacuum. Well, it just happened to fit on the hose for the shop vac. So all we have now is a shop vac that we use to vacuum the floor and clean up messes and clean up any water, whatever is needed. So that's one of those situations where we're saying that we could definitely go buy a vacuum cleaner. But why pay? First of all, they cost more here. Why would we go do that when all we needed was a shop vac? And that's what we're saying, that like sometimes you realize that you really don't need all the stuff that
Yeah.
you had in the states.
Because it's just like you said, it accumulates. And also when you're looking at, if you want a Shark, a Bissell, Dyson, those are imported
Yeah,
and they cost way more than what you would purchase, what you would pay for in the U.S. So getting a shop vac, even the shop vac, costs way more than the shop vac we bought.
yeah. It's a good shop vac though. It is a good shop vac. Thank you, Evelyn and Sally. Thank you very much. Hopefully, we'll be celebrating 4 and 5 and 6 in the near future. But yes, there
Those are,
we went a long time like without a microwave.
and I still don't need one.
Yeah, we still don't really need it, but the place where we live now, is one already here, so we use it. But
No, he uses
I
it.
do. But I went a few years without really using a microwave at all, and it wasn't nearly the culture shock or shock that I thought it would be. We just got used to it, and we
You just go back to when you were small
when
and
before we had a microwave.
exactly, and learn how to heat up things. Cause we have a toaster oven. You can do air fry. You can bake.
Yeah,
We have a regular stove oven, so you can still cook the regular way.
yeah.
You don't need all those.
You don't need all the gadgets that you have,
The,
even though they do make some things convenient. You don't really need it. Another thing that we've gotten accustomed to not having, even though we're kind of going back and forth on it, is a vehicle. And all we have is our little scooter and our 2 feet. It there's good and bad. There's good and bad. It's a give and take here because the scooter is truly convenient. When we're going places that's nearby, we hop on, go, come right back. Sometimes we got to go somewhere to make sure that we beat an impending some impending rain because the rain here is sporadic. It happens off and on, and you really don't know how long it's going to last. It could just be a few minutes and the sun comes out, or it could be all day. You just never know. So you don't want to get caught in it if you're trying to go do something. Or it may be bright and sunny and a bit too warm to walk where we feel like going, and we hop on the scooter. So that is very convenient. However, we're not going so far on that scooter. We don't trust other drivers, and we're exposed on that scooter. So that being said, we use public transportation a lot. We take the bus a lot, the train, and taxis a bit. So that part of getting around is something you have to get used to if you're not used to living somewhere in the United States, the few places in the United States where like not having a car is normal. Because sometimes we just want to go to the grocery store, and prime example, I was just talking about the weather. We'll go to the grocery store, it's nice and sunny, and by the time we leave the store,
it's pouring out
it's
rain.
either pouring rain or a thunderstorm is on the way. And we might have taken a bus there or the train. So usually we take a bus or train anywhere, you're going to have to get out and walk maybe a block or two to wherever you're going, or a few blocks. Well, that's kind of out of the question if it's pouring rain and thunderstorming.
Well, usually if it's pouring raining, you find something else to do. You
Right,
go
you
have
sit.
lunch. You sit and wait till the rain stops, and you can take a taxi, or we just take the bus.
After the rain,
Yeah,
which we've done. We've done all of those things. We'll sit, or we'll just get a car and go home, or wait
you mean a taxi?
a taxi, or wait it out.
Yeah, I mean we learn to adjust.
Yeah. Now, of course, if we had a vehicle,
We'll just be gone all the time.
we probably would. We probably
And
just
it's
be riding
not
around it for no
necessary.
reason. Yeah, for no reason at all. And the traffic. Speaking of that, like traffic patterns are a bit different,
Oh yes,
and
if you're not,
if you're not used to like this particular city, so the traffic laws are generally the same as they would be in the United States or Canada. except there are like just tiny differences, and the people. I'm not gonna say there's the best drivers here.
Well, there's none best drivers in the
Well,
U.S.
yeah, but like
So it's
it
about the same.
seems a little more Wild West here.
Wild West.
A little more, a little.
No.
You have how many times have we ever seen a child in a car seat?
First of all, that's custom here.
No,
So,
I mean no, but this is what I'm getting at. That it's like it's a different mindset.
It's a different mindset. It was a different mindset when we were growing up in the 70s. You were not in the car seat.
Right. So
You was hanging out the window.
You're right. So what?
What's the little windmill?
Or in the back window of the Pinto.
You was in the back window.
You know, in the back window, you can sit.
No,
in the
I
back.
don't know.
Somebody here knows has been ridden. Me and my cousin in the back. Yeah, my granddad's Pinto. Ohio drivers are the worst. Probably. I have no idea. But anyway, it is different. So, excluding like other drivers, there are just differences here that you'd have to be aware of. Even from the coast to here in Cuenca, because here in Cuenca there's the Tranvia, right? This is just one example. If you're not used to driving through a city where there are train tracks just randomly going throughout the city, and you have to know where to stop and when to stop, it might cause a problem because you think that you might have the right of way, but you actually need to stop because the train's coming.
Well, everybody knows you need to stop if the train is coming.
But some people don't see it because it's coming from like behind them, and they don't know that light is telling them to stop.
Yes, and there's no
gates or anything to come down.
To come down to let you know you need to stop.
Right. There might be a stoplight, but like I said, the culture's different. So not everyone stops for a stoplight. They don't see any traffic coming, so they go. But the train's actually coming from behind them. So that's not something you have to worry about on the coast. You're not going to see that in Salinas or, I don't think Manta. So even from one city to the other, traffic patterns are different. So even if we had a car, the fact that we've been riding the bus for the last 6 months that we've been here in Cuenca, we learned a lot of the streets. We learned a lot of the places where cars are supposed to stop and sometimes don't. And buses too.
Oh yeah, because if you're getting off the train, there's a crosswalk for people who are getting off the train, and you can hear it. Now, the light is red for the pedestrians to walk across. If the bus doesn't see anyone there, he's going straight through that red light.
And most cars too. What up, Ace? Thanks, man. Yeah, most cars are gonna go through that thing too. So
not most cars, but a lot of the cars stop because it's a red light.
Okay.
Yes. I mean,
but that's something we've learned. That's something we've learned because when we first saw it, when we first got here, we were like in a taxi or something, and we were like, why didn't the car stop at this red light? Because it was just one. It was just
right.
A light for like.
I mean, I'm not saying everybody stops, but majority of them do stop.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, what do you trust, a majority or everybody? So like,
you trust yourself.
Right. So it's a traffic. What I'm saying, the traffic pattern is something that you would have to get used to if you were driving a vehicle here. And had we not ridden the bus and not really known about some of these areas that are like kind of tricky when it comes to driving, especially some of the roundabouts.
Yeah.
Like if we just came here raw and just started driving a car, like it would be crazy. It would be kind of crazy.
Yeah, well, I'll probably just park the car and not drive. But you like you said, you definitely need to. I feel like you need to get out, get around on the bus, and learn the traffic before just purchasing a car, because there are a lot of one-way streets here.
Yeah.
It was the same in Salinas and also in Cuenca because you don't want to be going down the wrong way.
Yeah, some of the streets are just kind of tricky.
And you can pass, like if you want to go to this store, but it's a one-way street in front of it, that doesn't mean the next street behind it is the opposite direction. You may have to go down several streets before you can get to the store.
Yeah.
So
it's city driving if you're used to that, but it can be different. Celebratory encebollado. I don't think we've had any encebollado since we've been here in Cuenca, have we?
I have.
Okay.
Yes.
But Ace, that is always a good idea. So.
Ace says, and getting used to driving is a whole ordeal. I went around in a taxi and such at first, saw how people drove, and then when I had a motorcycle, still had to learn how to drive the hard way.
Hmm.
Yeah. But after driving for years in the same city, you get used to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will say, Ace, that and anybody else, that of the times that we've actually like kind of even just considered the thought of getting a car, we have said that it does seem better to drive here than in Salinas, and not so much because like not so much because I think one is safer than the other, or anything like that. But I do remember that in Salinas, like there were so many
Oh,
transitos and
yeah.
so many like traffic stops, like what are they, random searches and stops and whatnot. That would have gave us anxiety because our Spanish isn't that good, and you don't really see that nearly as much here
And
in
we
Cuenca.
also rode with people that did not stop at stop signs.
Yeah,
And, it scared me to death because I was like, you see the stop sign and it just,
yeah. So yeah, man, it makes you think that like, okay, well, if you're riding in the car with someone who doesn't stop at stop signs, if you're driving, you know there's people like that coming the opposite direction or whatever at a intersection who might just run into you. So you got to be really careful.
yeah, because I just saw a video not too long ago in
Oh
Salinas.
yeah, Salinas, yeah,
A car did not stop at the stop sign, T-boned
and flipped
another
another
car and
car.
flipped another car.
Yeah, and
So,
it wasn't even a high speed
no.
crash or anything. It was just enough to flip it over.
So you have to be very careful.
Yeah,
But for us, we don't need a car. We're not going many places that we need a car,
yeah.
and that would just be more of
Just another cost that we don't
yeah,
really.
another cost that
Yeah,
we have to add.
not ruling it out completely. Just saying, it's
Not at
just
the moment.
not something we need at the moment.
I don't know. In the future, I like the fact someone else is driving.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It can be quite nice and convenient,
Very convenient.
especially when the bus is empty.
I like the train.
Not even so much empty, but oh, the train's awesome. The train here, seriously, if you come to Cuenca, the train via is the fastest way to get from one side of town to the other. Believe it. But yeah, about like the buses or even a train, it's so nice when it's like not the rush hour time because you can find a seat, you can sit down, relax, and just go where you need to go. Let the driver take care of it. It's pretty cool.
Luis, Luis, I have been thinking about getting a car, but you cannot beat the fare of 35 cents all day.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if you're old enough, it's like 15. I think it's
Yeah,
15.
it's 65 and
65 hours is
I think
15.
it's 50 cents.
And that well, yeah, the train is 35. I think the bus is 30, right?
The
I
bus
know
is
it's one or the
30
other.
and the train is 35, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So bus stop pretty close to us, so that makes things pretty convenient, unless it's raining. And then we got like, okay, well, how much rain do we want to deal? We walked to the bus stop in the rain,
And we walked
and we
home in the
walked home
rain.
in the rain.
So,
So yeah, it's not,
you know,
it ain't too serious.
it's not uncommon.
uh, Sally, my dad always said, never underestimate the stupidity of the other driver. Absolutely, absolutely. This is why we don't go very far on the scooter. We could go places, but nah, it's not worth it. It ain't worth a serious injury or our lives.
A says the main points I give to a car is the rain, and on a personal level, wanting to travel from one city to another
Hmm.
with the portable storage trunk. Since I'm always making videos, I need storage security.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not gonna ever put down the potential need for a vehicle. Um, I could absolutely see us having a reason to have one. And if you are traveling the country, like for Ace, I think for you, it would be a better idea. But you also speak Spanish, so I don't want to. Our anxiety really, it's not fear. It's just more of a like, don't put ourselves in a situation we don't have to.
And
Is
saying the wrong thing.
saying the wrong thing, or just what if we have like an accident? We're stuck somewhere and we can't communicate with people. There are plenty of places where like cell phone signals don't work, and we might have to talk to somebody. And our Spanish just isn't. We aren't comfortable with that. So yeah, it's one of those situations where it's I can see the worth in it, but it just isn't worth it for us at the moment. Who knows?
And plus, sitting back, letting someone else drive if we decide to go to another part of Ecuador, it's convenient. I'd rather put my foot up. I'd rather for him to be relaxed and while I'm sleeping, he's driving and something happens. We're both comfortable just sitting back.
Yeah.
I know things happen. Even if you're on a bus, if you're on a
Yeah.
train, things happen. That's life.
Yeah. Buenas tardes, Daniel. So, also, all right, after being here for 3 years, we've had an opportunity to see a lot of stuff and do a lot of things that we just didn't have time for. I think that is maybe the biggest. That's
You
probably
mean
the
when you
biggest
say time for?
because we were working.
Okay,
Because
when
we
we're
were
in
working,
the U.S.
because we're working in the U.S. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of things we have time for that we just didn't. I'm kind of a big game nerd, and lately I've been trying to learn a lot of different game systems and tabletop role playing games and stuff. Focusing also some time on the stuff that I really like movies and TV shows, which is why I talk about on my other channel.
Yeah.
Which is it's something that stuff is
He
floating around in my
loves.
head.
He
and,
loves.
Yeah.
And I find myself when he's watching these crazy movies, absolutely crazy. What was it? The Wraith?
Yeah, everybody loves the Wraith.
The Wraith. That was.
Charlie Sheen, 1986.
It was.
I love that movie.
Everything about that movie was questionable.
It's got plenty of plot holes in it.
It was I'm talking the dude who was the
ghost?
antagonist.
Oh! You mean Boss from Life? Nick Cassavetes. That's his name.
I don't know his name.
Yeah.
He looked too old to be playing.
But he was playing an adult. I brought this point up in the video I did for that movie. Is that everyone in that movie is supposed to be an adult. It's not like a movie about high schoolers played by 30-year-olds. No, it's like everyone in that movie is an adult.
They didn't act like they were adults, honestly.
Hold on. I'm going to...
Okay.
Ace, I feel no worries. I do view the car as a luxury, which is nice to have. You got tons of ways to get around, and you always got to go with what's best for you. No problem, Daniel. I knew you hit the caps lock. Coleman, does your wife love those games and movies? As you can tell, sometimes she does.
Sometimes I find myself sitting there, but when I'm
she
watching,
loves them. She loves
I
it.
don't love them. But I asked so many questions. He was like, "Can't you just watch the movie?" I'm like, "That doesn't make any sense."
Listen,
why? It's
listen.
just it's
The-
horrible.
the measure-
Just like what was the one? I can't even think of it.
Recently?
Oh, that horrible. The one with Mario Van Peebles.
Rapping?
Oh,
Oh, Rapping's one of the worst movies ever made. But
horrible.
I'm glad I did that video because it got me a whole lot of subscribers.
But it was horrible. Absolutely.
That movie is terrible.
So I mean, rapping beats the Wraith, but yeah. Anyway.
Anyway, yeah. Sometimes all I was gonna say is that the measure of how good a movie really is even though I've seen them all 100 times, if she walks in the room and I'm watching one of those silly
It catches
old
my
movies,
eye. It
and
catches
she
my
sits
eye.
down and watches the whole movie, that's how I know this is actually a really good movie. No matter how much
It's
she
not,
tries
no,
no matter
that's
how
not
many
true.
questions she asks.
That's not true. But
Anyway,
anyway.
you sat down and watched Predator with me so
Oh,
many
you
times.
sat down and watched some movies with me that you said you wouldn't watch either. And then, they, as you call them, chick flicks.
Yeah, I can't watch Fifth Element over and over again.
But you have.
Beverly Hills Cop, yeah. But anyway, damn, great taste. If you got a car, would you probably accumulate more stuff than you need? Yeah, there's a really good chance of that. Honestly, we would probably be at stores that just because. Okay, this goes back to our previous statement about like the bus and getting used to it and using public transportation. It also limits the amount of
Things you can
BS
bring back.
that we bring back on. Yeah, because
Yeah.
we know if we take the bus and the train somewhere, we got to carry that stuff back home.
And if the designated bus that's close to our house doesn't come, we have to walk 20 minutes to get home, and he will be complaining. He will be complaining about,
Yeah, my knees
I'm
hurt.
carrying all these bags. Why did you have to get so much stuff? Did you have to get this big papaya?
So, all right, so listen. Yeah, okay, so if we're going somewhere, we got to carry this stuff back. You're going to get like a papaya that's like this long, like this, and like
It
a
is
bunch of
heavy.
fruit, lemons.
Oh, the bag of
Limes. The
lemon.
bag of limes is like,
Yeah.
and what are the mangoes? Like 5 mangoes for $1
No,
or
it's
whatever,
more than that.
or
It's like
$2.
seven. It's like 7 mangoes for $1.
Yeah,
And I have limes. I have cucumbers, and these are bags. Like they're heavy.
yeah.
And he's
So what
complaining.
was a simple 10-minute stroll to wherever we got that stuff from is now a it feels like a 10-mile road march on the way back because of the stuff you're carrying. And that's what I'm saying, that like even though the bus stop is only like 5 minutes from the house, it's different when you're carrying.
He is so bad. He is so bad. He doesn't
Like my
talk.
face is
He
on.
don't talk. He like, you don't have to carry these bags. I'm like, I'm carrying a bag. I got two on my shoulders.
Listen, it's first of all, the altitude. Altitude is an issue.
He's breathing
It's
hard.
it's it's dry. Like all the moisture is being sucked out of my body. So like I'm thirsty. I can't put the bags down and drink.
But reward him with like some chocolate chip cookies, or I make
Yeah.
him some ice cream, and he's
So
it's
there
worth
is
it.
there is
It's
a
worth
benefit.
it.
There's a benefit to not having a car because we don't bring home nearly as much BS. Now there are times when we do go to the store and I'm like, okay, LaShawn might be thinking like we want to take the bus back. I'm like, we about to get on the bus with these boxes? Like, what are we doing? No, I'm not, because it's hard enough to get on and off the bus
Oh yeah,
unless you're in the middle of the group of people getting on the bus or the first one. Like it's already hard enough because the bus driver's ready to go as soon as you put your foot up. If you're the last person, as soon as you put your foot up there,
he's usually
I'm
the
always the last
person.
person. Because like everyone else is like really small and they're like ducking and so I'm like, all right, go ahead.
I remember the time I got on it, I had that bag and he took off and I lost my balance.
Oh yeah.
And the man got up and he's like, "Here, you
Go
sit."
ahead and sit down. Go ahead and take my seat. So yeah, anyway, it's already hard enough to get on and off the bus if you're carrying stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm like, nah, if I got to carry something in my arm like this, then we're not riding the bus.
And usually our bus is mostly packed a lot, especially coming back if it's after 3.
Yeah, or like around noon, like when kids get out, and it's just because it's always like the way we time it when we go to the store. We always end up going during like
the busiest time.
Yeah, we're lazy.
But it's an adventure.
Yeah,
it's definitely an adventure.
Yeah, so I think we've prevented ourselves from buying stuff just on that.
And you're right, we don't need a car because we'll buy a lot of stuff, and that's great.
And the transportation, if you want to get around the country, if you don't actually need a vehicle, like it is fairly easy to get around the country for a pretty affordable price.
Yeah.
A lot of bus trips are like $5. It just depends on where you're going. Or the vans are like $12 or $15. So you can pretty much get anywhere you need to. Like Sean said, if we did have a car, like we would just be riding around for no reason, burning gas, going to places that we could go on the bus.
Or places we don't need to go.
Yeah. Yeah, we'd be up and down the Cajas somewhere, and then there's going to be a landslide, and then we're going to be stuck, and then we can't speak Spanish. Yeah.
That would be funny.
Yeah, well, it might be funny to me. I know it would be funny to you.
Then after that, we'll just park the car and be like, nope.
Like, why we got this thing? Oh, man. So, yeah, like, transportation. That is something that we have learned that we are quite good at navigating without a vehicle, without a car.
Yeah. 3 years. What else?
Ooh. Well, okay, so we live with. We already said we live with like less stuff, but then it's like I think I don't want to say less, like it is less stuff, but like less choices. That makes sense. So like we have less.
Okay, yeah. So you're talking about? Are you referring to fast food convenience?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We love the fact that there are not a lot of fast foods all around where we are right now, and that was the same case in Salinas. There were not a lot of fast foods.
Yeah, you will rarely see a drive-through.
Yeah, if you're going to Guayaquil,
There was
You
that
was
KFC.
you see
It was
KFC,
two of them.
McDonald's, you see Domino's, you see a lot of U.S. fast foods in Guayaquil, but in Salinas and here in Cuenca, you don't see that as much.
Yeah, and even in Guayaquil, like still weren't that many. Still not like a whole lot of
Not a
drive-throughs. So
no.
like, if
I
you,
was just saying when you
yeah,
going to the
you will see
airport,
them.
yeah.
Yeah. Uh, Daniel, get a sports bottle with a straw. Then while you carry your bag, she can hold it. Now, because she's usually carrying something too. I usually always have a water bottle in my backpack.
Oh, so
And
he's saying just hold over there so you
yeah,
sip.
yeah. I had to get one of the Camelback things
And
with the straw.
look, then I'll be like, you would
Yeah,
ask me why
stop
you
drinking my
sipping.
water. Get your own water. But there are a lot less, and I don't want to get into like health and all that other stuff.
Oh
But
no.
there are a lot fewer fast food places here. Not places that we would consider typical fast food in the United States, like your Hardee's, McDonald's, Burger King, Zaxby's, Chick-fil-A, stuff like that. They're way fewer, but there are still a lot of places to sit down and eat.
Yes.
Like there's tons of. If you want to eat, you can do that pretty much anywhere. Thank you, Danica. You can pretty much do that anywhere in Ecuador. There's always a place to eat. But yeah, there really aren't that many of the fast food places that you will see in the United States that like you can just pull up, grab something, and leave. Although every place delivers,
Yes. Yeah. Not every place.
pretty much, pretty much. Even
Yeah.
even if it's not on Petitosia, or what's the other one?
Rappy.
Rappy. They might have their own delivery service, like the
Yeah.
pizza place.
Oh
Like they
yeah.
weren't on there, but they had their own delivery. So like, you can pretty much, if you can text a place. Now this is something that we've learned over time. We've been doing Petty Dosa for a while, but there are restaurants that may not be listed. What you do is you go to the restaurant's like Facebook page or whatever, and on Google, and you get the WhatsApp number, and you just text them. You just text them what you want, and they might text you back a menu, and they say, okay, we'll deliver it, and because they have their own delivery service, and they'll add in the cost of delivery, and like I know one time the guy brought the little credit card reader with him, and I tapped it or whatever, or you can pay in cash. So it is really convenient. So I will say that like
I
even
mean,
though there's
yeah,
not a lot of drive-throughs, you
but
can
they
get
do
food
have,
anywhere.
yeah, they do have a lot of delivery. Um, like you were saying, New York,
Yeah.
they have a lot of
Oh yeah, like the bicycle deliveries like in
yeah.
Manhattan. Yeah, delivery is the thing here. Every place delivers. There's some places you might not want delivery from, but yeah. I'm sorry.
Oh, thought you were.
Oh, no, B, you're not late. Ace said, recently got some Chewy Chips Ahoy. They don't sell those here, but there are things I wish they sold here. What do you wish they sold here in Ecuador? Any items you missed? Listen,
Now, first of all, yes, Ace. The red pack chewy chips ahoy, love them. The blue ones, not so much.
even though we make a lot of cookies, she makes a lot of cookies.
Yeah, I was like, who is we?
I demand a lot of cookies, and she makes a lot of cookies.
Um, one of the things I miss, food choice.
Nilla wafers. If this woman can find Nilla
Okay,
wafers,
so hold
here,
on.
I swear.
If they sold them Nella wafers that they made maybe 5 years ago, they came in the 4-pack, which was, they were fresher.
Oh, you mean before they went to that plastic?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because no, in the 4-pack banana pudding, we would have it maybe twice a month.
Yeah. The only thing keeping her from making banana pudding a lot more often is the fact she cannot find Nilla wafers.
I cannot find Nella wafers.
I know. I can tell you if there's something that I miss, Ace, and LaShawn knows that pretty much everywhere we go, if I see a really good chocolate chip cookie, I'm going to try it. If it looks
Yes,
good,
yeah.
and I might be disappointed. Like, oh, okay, it was okay. And then there's other places I'm like, man, that thing was great. I miss Chick-fil-A. First of all, I miss Chick-fil-A. I miss Chick-fil-A chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not that big of a
Oh,
fan.
I love those things.
I'm not a chocolate chip cookie person. I like mine, but
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, love them. There's so many things that we
I don't
probably like miss. If you mean just food, it's fewer than it's not a lot. When
No.
it comes to food, it's not a lot because the food's so good here.
Yeah.
But like snacks, not Not really. I can get
Okay, so I
my
will say
Jif
this:
peanut butter.
if I wasn't lactose intolerant, it would be Chick-fil-A cookies and cream milkshake.
Ooh.
And then when they during
Oh,
the
you mean
summertime,
Sonic
no Sonic.
was it free? Half price after 8.
Half price after 8, it was a cherry milkshake
Yeah.
because cookies and cream at Chick-fil-A and the cherry milkshake at Sonic.
Yeah. Okay, I'll tell you what. There's one.
It's just
There's
ice
one
cream,
snack that I
period.
know we both miss. Hot Krispy Kremes. Hot sign Krispy Kreme. We didn't get it all the time, but just the fact that that option was there. Hot and fresh
Oh,
Krispy Kreme.
hot fries.
You mean the
The
bag
bag
hot
of
fries? Oh, I
hot
hate those.
fries. Oh,
Oh, I hate
he
those.
didn't ask you about you. He asked
those.
me.
Disgusting.
I mean, well, my preference: hot fries.
Ugh.
Hot Cheetos and hot fries. Ooh, so good.
If-
And then it would make you cough and you want more.
Also, now I said there weren't that many snacks. Now I'm thinking about it. If the Doritos were like exactly the same as the ones in the U.S.
I was thinking. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm saying the Doritos, like
Oh,
they
yeah,
aren't
the
exactly the same as
they're
the ones in
not.
the U.S.
Yeah.
If they were the same,
Yes.
I do kind of.
They do sell Doritos here,
They're just not
but
quite the
it's
same.
not quite the
I don't
same.
know if they put as much MSG in them or something.
So Daniel, I would miss Ruffles potato chip unless they sell it there.
They sell them here.
Sell them here, and they are good.
They are good.
They are good. Sour cream. We had the sour cream and a regular. Yes.
Yeah. They sell Ruffles here.
Chester hot fries.
Those are the best.
Yeah.
I don't. Ugh.
So good.
Ugh.
Oh. Yeah, I miss those. I miss them.
Yeah, Luis. American Doritos are, I gotta say, they are better. They are, and American Cheetos. Cheetos and Doritos are better in the United States.
I did a comparison on one of the videos.
Yeah,
when
one
I
of the
had
videos.
cheese puffs and American cheese puffs.
Yeah, they are definitely better in the
Yeah.
United States. Yeah, other than, I don't know, we'll probably think of some more snacks while we're sitting here.
Yeah. But it was definitely hot fries. Ooh.
Yeah. Ugh.
Because I bought some here and I was
Disappointing.
disappointed because they were not hot. They didn't have that spice and that hit you, that powdery stuff hit you in the back of the throat to make you cough. So,
Ugh.
but yeah.
Anyway, there weren't any other snacks, was there, that I can think of?
Not that I can think of.
It would be nice if they were,
Oh,
if the ones we were used to were cheaper. Because, like, if you want, like, a Mr. Good bar or Reese Cups, because the Reese Cups are my favorite,
yeah, there he is.
but they cost more. So I've hardly had a Reese Cup since we've been in Ecuador.
A barbecue pork sandwich. Because you remember we used to go
Yeah,
to
pulled pork
pulled
barbecue.
pork,
Yeah.
Even though they do sell a lot of pulled pork here, it's not bad. It's not on the
That's
sandwich.
just something we miss. That's something we miss. And, of course, Bass Pro Shop. That's just...
Well, we don't go fishing, so
Yeah, I know. Just miss it, though.
you miss it. I haven't thought about it.
How's the rain? It's raining right now, actually. It's just been off and on. I mean, it's been kind of raining pretty consistent, like on a daily basis, past month or so. But it's like that time of year where it rains the most.
And in different areas, there are some flooding. The river does get higher, but nothing that it doesn't settle. Now, I think in Guayaquil they have had a lot of rain and a lot of flooding.
And there's been some, like you said, there's been a lot of flooding here, and just like it comes up, it floods an area, and it washes away, causes some problems, some rock slides, stuff like that. But it's not bad. Like we go out like nothing. We just got to be mindful of, okay, well, it's dry now. We're probably gonna get rained on, but that's why we always take our rain jackets with us. Let's see. Why my question does lean more towards food, snacks, anything else you might find useful works too. Yeah, I know for me it was like Bass Pro, and I mean LaShawn spent a lot of time there too.
I'm not missing it.
No, but there is something that like I do miss going there, even though it's just me buying a bunch of stuff.
No, but I don't miss it too because I don't. There's no reason for me to miss it. If I was going
If you were
fishing,
fishing a lot,
yeah. That's not
we did fish a lot.
Trader Joe's.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
That's a store I miss
Yeah, I went there a
because
lot. I went there like before work sometimes.
he went there a lot. Yeah, yeah. I miss a Trader Joe's
Yeah,
because they had a lot of good snacks, especially the Jamaican jerk plantains,
the
Jamaican
jerk. I don't
jerk
remember those.
plantain.
I thought you
How
were
do
talking
you
about
not?
the
You
beef
would
cakes
eat.
or something. The beef patties. I mean, I don't
I am
remember.
not talking about a beef. Trader Joe's did not sell beef patties. You're talking about the restaurant
Yeah.
we used to go to. I'm talking about the Jamaican jerk plantains that I used to have in my right beside my chair that you kept your
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
hands
yeah, yeah, yeah,
in.
yeah, 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 yeah. I
See how
forgot. I forgot. Because I acted like I didn't like them, but they were pretty good.
they were very good.
Because if I act like I don't like it, then she'll let me eat a few of them. If I act like I like it, then she'll hide them from
Because I won't get
me. Yeah, you
it.
won't give me. Do you wear rain boots? No, no. Just regular shoes. You know, we just stay out of the mud whenever we can.
It's not. I mean, the rain boots is very. Usually when we're walking, the rain has stopped. You may get a little
Yeah,
drizzle,
and it's
but
too
not
hot to be
enough
walking
to a
around.
point where we have to wear boots.
Yeah, our rain jackets come right off. Is when the rain stops, those jackets unless it's cool or it's like evening, those jackets come right off because the sun pops out and it's too hot to have on a rain jacket.
Rain is definitely all over the place. For example, in my city, yeah, it's been bad, but not terrible. One city next to me, Santa Ana, they've had severe flooding.
Yeah,
Yes, I mean it's the same here in Cuenca where we are. I think we've had flooding once, but in other places it varies. You'll see some videos on Facebook from the news that show different areas that has some flooding.
yeah, and we've certainly learned over our time here like where to look for like local happenings and local news. Sometimes it is more useful to like go to the ones that are on Facebook. Different cities have different ones, but they'll have like street reports basically. Like somebody's recorded something, upload it, and it's immediate. Like we've realized there was flooding near us when we saw it online because we didn't go outside, so we didn't know.
Yeah.
So it is that's something you find out after being here for a while. You don't have to go to like the big news sites. You can kind of go to the local street level news and find out a whole lot.
Yeah. No, sometimes we have a backpack, sometimes we don't.
Yeah, and it's usually if we have it, the only thing in it is a water bottle and our two rain jackets. So, disposable if need be, but it's not not a big deal. Um, but yeah, living with less options, and I think that like we we really cut back even since we've been here. Like we've bought, of course, we've accumulated a few things since we've been in Ecuador, but we've cut back on the things that we might say that we actually need if we were in the U.S. because those things just aren't available here or they cost a lot more.
And then if you order, like you can order some things. We talked about Amazon, T and the Media. Um, if you get a box in Miami, have stuff shipped. It just depends. You still have to follow the 4x4 rule,
Yeah,
whether you're ordering from T and the Media or Amazon. Amazon will throw in the import fees because and the import and custom fees. Yeah,
yeah,
if you're outside of that 4x4 rule.
right. And they add in like sometimes you might get an extra charge if you're using Amazon. Sometimes you might use they might give you an extra thing at the when it comes into customs. Where and I had to do that once. They sent me like an invoice and customs that I had to pay to get the stuff out of customs, even though I'd already paid all the shipping and everything through Amazon. That will happen every once in a while. But like a service like T and the Mia, like they add all that stuff in, so the price will be higher, but you may not get any surprises
Yeah, in the
in the
end.
delivery.
So I mean, you can order whatever it is that you need if you actually need it. If you want to order from the states, but we just found that some things we don't need, and it's and especially if you're renting, you don't want to have if you're not going to stay where you are and you're going to move to a different location. You don't want to carry all that stuff, and then you got to hire a transportation mover to move if you're getting like furniture and stuff like that to another location,
Yeah.
and that cost can add up as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Shane von Lichtenstein. I hope I said that right.
what are a couple of biggest concerns? Anything living in Ecuador? Ecuador.
Well, I mean, obviously, you can't ignore like the whole like crime issue. So it's a concern, but and I'm only speaking for us. I can't speak for anybody else. The precautions we take are the same precautions we took in the United States or in any country that we've been in. So when it comes to like danger, like safety,
You
it's
just
really no different than how we acted
yeah, just common
before.
sense and just don't be out
Yeah,
doing things that would draw
just
attention.
yeah, and think of it like if I was a criminal, who would I be looking for, and what would I be looking for?
Well, of course they're gonna be looking for foreigners because we don't know.
Right, but there's a thing about making yourself a military guy. You make yourself a soft target or a hard target. I'm sorry, and like there are just certain things you got to do just to be mindful of, and it's a concern, but I wouldn't say it's like our biggest concern. Is yeah,
No, it's. I mean, we are aware. We are aware, but we still just living our daily lives
yeah,
just the same as if we were in the U.S. And like you said, we're not out much. We
yeah,
don't do a lot. We do go out. People do see us, but we're usually going with a purpose to get whatever we're gonna get and
yeah,
come back. And that leads into B's question. You get bags when you go to the market. They put whatever you're gonna buy. You carry that home, and
yeah.
I mean, or you can take if you have your recycle bags, you use that,
Yeah.
and that's
We use
that.
those a lot. Those recycle bags. Was there any other concerns? Really? I mean, I guess
I
like the
mean,
power issue was like when it was happening, but it wasn't that. We knew that problem was going to kind of fix itself.
right.
Uh,
Um,
I mean, I guess like if there's currently a concern, it's like it may be the election that's coming up and
yeah.
how it might affect us. But like the conversation I had with Ace recently, we're in our thought process is whatever is best for the people of the country because since we're not citizens, whatever's best for the people of the country is is what we're gonna have to be happy with. And if that eventually means we're forced to leave, then so be it. But for right now, I think the only concern I have is like if there's a part of the government that is looking to de-dollarize the country. So then that would bring a whole host of issues for us that we'd have to figure out later. Yeah, I think other than that, there's really we don't really have any concerns. We're usually just chilling. I don't know. Maybe we're the wrong people to ask about concerns.
I mean, you'll think about stuff
Yeah,
if things pop up. That's
yeah,
something you have to think about. But yeah, like you said, the de-dollarization
yeah.
or
And I also
if
think
you see crime in other areas, and if you just wonder like, is it gonna bleed over into where you are and how you're gonna deal
yeah,
with it? But as of right now, that's not
yeah. And I think
much
for
of a
like
concern.
like for me, and I don't know what my IQ's were. For me, working in criminal justice field for so long, I really kind of dig into. If I see something, I don't always believe the story on the surface because I know that there's usually a lot more than what's written about. Sometimes it's exactly right, but anyway, I look into things. I'm saying, okay, well, that's why that happened. Not just it wasn't some random person got plucked off the street or something. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's not the biggest concern.
Daniel said that's something I would need to learn. I have always lived in a small, overgrown towns that are primarily safe. The largest city he has lived in is 66,000 people.
Yeah, it's it's different. It's different if you come from a small town. If you're used to being in a small town, it's one of those things where Cuenca's like a bigger city. I forgot the population. It might be like 500,000, something like that. I can't remember. But it's still small, if that makes sense. Us traveling around the city, especially on the bus and the train, we've said this before, but we'll cross streets that we didn't realize we were crossing before because we've been down that street coming from another direction or whatever, and we're like, oh, this is we're at this place we were just at 2 days ago, but we had no idea it was right around the corner. And the city isn't nearly as massive as it feels. So it is. I would say, like, if you come from a small town, Cuenca is a pretty decent place to come to because it isn't. It's big, but it seems like a small town. And when I say big, I mean population. But like in area, it isn't. It really isn't that big. You can get all the way across town in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, and then when you're out and about, like if you're on the train or on the bus, you will see a lot of Ecuadorians, like they talk to one another. So it's almost smell like a little small village because they know each other.
Yeah.
You know, they walk up to each other and know each other by name. So it's like it's just a small community feel when we're out.
Yeah. It's like the best of both. If you want city life,
Yeah.
you got it, and if you want small town life, you got it. And I will say that this place feels like that. Like Salinas is a smaller city, much smaller city than Cuenca, but it's a vacation town, so there's kind of a different feel to it.
Yeah.
And yeah, here it's just like it's like being in a small town. But you got all the options of a bigger city. If that makes sense.
Be you asking about the
Oh, did we face south?
I
We don't
don't
even know.
No, but I know you can use if you want to use a solar panel, you
Yeah.
can because the sun. I've seen the sun hit all places,
Yeah,
so just
it
put
hits
it out.
everywhere.
You're gonna get enough sun if you're trying to.
Yeah, as long as you're not surrounded by trees.
Yeah.
As long as you're not surrounded by trees, then yeah, you can absolutely use a solar panel here. That thing will be full in 12 hours. Even Vilcabamba is much larger. Yeah, much larger, 66,000. Yeah. If I don't know when Daniel, when or if you're planning to come here, but I would, if you're not used to the city, like city life, it may be better for you to live like a little further out from like the central area, or even an area like near for real. Actually, the parts of the city are pretty densely packed, so you might want to spread out to the outer edges a bit, where it's a little quieter. If that's what you're used to, you're still gonna have access to like everything, and everything's still pretty close.
Yeah.
It may be a 10-minute walk to a store you want to go to as opposed to like 1 minute.
Yeah. It's like a little bowl.
It is. It's literally a bowl.
It's just
basin.
like a little bowl. Everybody right here in the center.
Yeah. Okay, so to change the subject a little bit, one thing that we talked about recently between us was how much we interact with people we don't know.
Oh. Yeah. If we were in the States, I can count on my one hand how many times I hung out in a week with other people. And
Within a 6-month time span.
6-month time span is probably one.
Yeah.
Now here, we've hung out on multiple occasions in 1 week.
Sometimes twice in a day.
Yes. And that has never really happened when we stayed in the States.
Yeah.
One, because you're working. And when you're working, and for me, working and how long it took me to get to work and back home was exhausting. And then you have to clean, cook, take care of whatever you need to take care of. You don't really have time to socialize. Now, some people make that a priority. I had other priorities. So hanging out was not.
Yeah, neither one of us did a lot of hanging out.
And I was talking to him about stress level. Of course, our stress level has minimized over 60%.
Probably more than that.
Probably, yeah. But I asked him, I said, when we were working in the States, were there some things that he wanted to do that he didn't feel that he had time to do, but now has he been able to do those things now that we are in Ecuador?
Absolutely. I mentioned games and movies, but really the games thing, I'm really into like the tabletop games, and just didn't have time for that. Back in the states, didn't have time to do all those things, and I do now. So the time issue wasn't so much playing the game as learning it. Now I have the time. I'm trying to tell you, I spend a week figuring out a game, and I'm like, okay, look, we're gonna play this game, and now I got to like explain everything to her as if I actually know what I'm doing. And
If he wants me to play,
I got no choice. I got to tell her.
because if I look at it, it's not gonna make sense. The games that he wants to play, and these it's like Dungeon and Dragons. You got Gaslands.
And
I've never been interested in any of these tabletop games. Now, if you want to play Monopoly, Uno, Scrabble, yeah, I'm down for that. But these other games that are more technical and
take some time.
It could be hours playing them. You lost me.
Yeah, but the Dark Sector one, like you got that wasn't too complicated. You pretty much got into that. The one with the cards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, once you show me, and first you gotta allow me to, like, you gotta start the game. Don't sit here and give me all the rules, because they go like this.
Yeah. If you want to see something hilarious, I don't know. One day we have to record this. You got to watch us playing against each other in some game, whether it be Monopoly or Uno No Mercy,
No,
Rummy.
They don't need to see that. They don't need to see that.
Hilarious.
They do not.
There's a different side of us, y'all. I promise
you.
It
is not cute. It's not cute.
We are competitive.
Very. And he's a sore loser.
No, I'm not. She's a sore winner.
I don't talk as much ish as he does when he wins. I'm just like, okay, it's all good. He gets mad when
I don't get mad. Oh, no.
I don't understand why you gotta play like this. But anyway, we're not talking about that. Moving on.
This is just interacting with people is something we
do a lot here in Cuenca. We did interact with people in Salinas.
We mean like Ecuadorians too. Like that's mainly who our interactions have been with is Ecuadorian people that we meet.
Yeah.
We did that in Salinas, but our Spanish wasn't quite as good then. So it's better now. It's a little easier to interact with people. And you happen to run across more English-speaking bilingual Ecuadorians here. It's still not everybody, so don't misunderstand. But there are definitely more.
And people are always saying, "Well, how do they feel about foreigners?" Our interaction has been very positive. They are very welcoming, and we've enjoyed it a lot. I've played games I have never heard of, and they are so much fun.
Yeah, with people that we met, and just to go play games.
Yeah.
But I was just about to say something. But it'll come back to me. But I have seen bookstores.
There is a bookstore I saw the other day, and it was in Central. It's a new bookstore. They do have some used bookstores, but I have not been in them. I think they're predominantly Spanish books.
Yeah.
But
I'm pretty sure you can find some English publications.
You can always go online and join your local library before you leave if you want to read books, and you can definitely have ebooks online.
Yeah, that is a smart move LaShawn made before we left. But we were talking about people. So one thing that Cuenca, does have is a lot of meetups. Like meetup sounds like dating, but not like that. But like just events where like people you're gonna meet people. There's a lot of live events and things going on here where you can meet people, whether it be expats or Ecuadorians.
And that is something you want to do. The access is there, and then they are very inviting.
Yeah, we tend to do a lot of events with Ecuadorian people because we want to improve our language skills. And what we found out is that very, very many of them who do speak a little English or do speak English want to speak with people who speak English because they want to practice their English. Just like we want to practice our Spanish, it kind of butt heads a little bit because
Yeah.
like we want them to speak Spanish, but they want to speak English. So you gotta kind of go back and forth. Art supply, yes. Yarn, yes. All those things are quite prevalent here. Like I said, and like there's a community for everything. Just something you like to do. There's somebody
Yes.
here that does it or sets up something, or
There's
you can set something up.
there's always an event. Like I said, you can go on Facebook and just type in you wherever you want to live. You say craft and Villicom. Yeah.
Okabamba.
Crafts in Salinas, crafts in Cuenca, arts in Cuenca, music in Cuenca, Ecuador. You're gonna find what you need. Or somebody's going to direct you to a site of a group to get that information. So anything you're looking for, it's available.
Yeah, there's a lot here. Like she said, music stores. That's something you don't really think about unless you're a musician.
It's a lot of
There's
music
a lot of music stores. There's it's hard to run out of options unless you're the type of person that's just easily bored. I don't see how you run out of options here. And there's always some kind of like craft show or something
Yeah,
happening somewhere, and arts things at different museums.
yeah. Now the thing is, there are things that you have to get out and walk, and you may just happen to walk past the store and like, oh, they have this store. Some people may not know that because if you're not out walking looking for those things, you may not see those things. But if you get out and walk around, you will see certain things that you may come across. Like I was looking for a fish store, what is
Pet
it?
store.
Pet store.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
There's a lot, but they're not always on. Like when I put it in Google to ask, like, are there stores here? I found two, but actually there were like
Way more.
way more just by us out walking around or on the bus. And I was like, hey, there's a pet store over here that I was looking for because I was looking for fish supplies.
Yep.
But you won't know that. So sometimes you just have to get out and walk around and see what you're looking for. I was looking for yarn stores like B was asking, and I found one or two. But when I was just out walking around, I found way more yarn stores than when I was looking for them.
Yeah, and what I had to do and remind LaShawn to do was when we walked past the store, because this happened a lot, honestly. It happened a lot where we'd be walking somewhere, doing something totally different, going to another destination, and we'll walk up on a store with something that one of us needs, or something that we've been looking for,
Yeah.
or we know it's a store that we're definitely gonna need to come back to in the future. And I said, all right, stop. Before we walk into the store, get something and leave, because we're gonna forget where this was.
Yes. And you take a picture.
You take a picture and you mark it. You put it on your Google Calendar. You Google Maps and put a pin in it as whatever place, so that now we've done that with bus stops, certain bus stops and certain stores, so that we're not just wandering aimlessly looking for, man, where was that place we saw like a month ago?
Because it has happened.
What street were we on?
It has happened. When we first got here, we thought we knew where a store was, but we totally forgot. And
Wandering
maybe
around.
a month later, we ran up on it again and was like, okay, we need to mark this. Thank you, Raul.
Yep, thank you, and thank you for all the comments on my other channel too, Raul. Appreciate it. We watch a lot of the same movies. But yeah, we couldn't recommend a bank, or there's no credit unions. We couldn't recommend a bank, honestly. It's really up to where you bank already and the options you want to have when you get here. But stores. So like, you definitely need to remember where stores need to market, take a picture, and restaurants, because we've passed a bunch of restaurants when we weren't hungry. We're like, oh man, I didn't even know this place was here.
And it's just, just being able, because we were new and now we've been here, 6 months now?
In Cuenca, yeah.
Okay, we know a little bit more. We know a little bit more about certain areas. we familiarized ourselves with certain places. We definitely know uh, Dulce de
Dulce de
Abril.
Abril.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
we
know
know
that
the
road.
area a little
Yeah.
better than
I feel like I can find my way around there, no problem.
because we've gone there a lot because a lot of things happen around Parque de la Madre.
Yeah.
So that area is
Yeah, that area gets a lot of different events, like, and
yeah
not necessarily at the park, but like within the vicinity, within
yeah
the
the
walking
vicinity.
area.
Because when
Yeah.
you get off the bus, like he was saying, you will see um, a craft show or
Yeah, a
a,
bunch of booths set
a
up on the
tent
sidewalk.
show with them selling things, and it could just be we don't know if it's a
Yeah, we
holiday,
don't know the event. Yeah,
yeah,
just
or
something going on,
event, yeah.
and, or there be something going on right across the river, which is right across from the park. And because as soon as you cross that river, like you're getting into Centro, and there's always just something going on in that area. So and it just so happens our bus goes right right through there. So we spend a lot of time in around that area just because it's so convenient.
No, B, I have not gone into town by myself.
I probably wouldn't let her anyway.
I don't have a need to go in by myself. JEP is a corporativa. It's similar to a credit union, but they call them corporativas here.
And there's like 100 of them. Jep's just one of the biggest ones. It probably is
Yeah,
the biggest one. Was the second biggest one.
it's it's
Yeah,
between one and two
they
because
got their stuff together.
there are a lot of corporativas here. You will see them all over. Um, but like Steve said, you would just have to get out and check out which one works best
Yeah,
for you.
they usually have someone, a representative or something, that will kind of walk you through whatever they offer and what you'd have to do to get money there and all that. So that's why I say like it's hard to recommend because it just depends on
What you need.
what you actually need. So, first of all, VNS, thank you for making it. And we did, excuse me, some scouting in Monza 2023. Definitely have plans to visit Cuenca later this year. Hey, we couldn't tell anyone like what city to prefer or anything like that, because some people want the warmer
More
beach
class.
weather, or a smaller town, or some people want a bigger town. Like some people might want to live in Quito, but then like the altitude could be an issue. There are so many variables when it comes to Ecuador that like it really is whatever fits you best. Like there is no solution. Like somebody could say, man, yeah, you should only live in Salinas, and you get there, and you're like, why? You know,
Well,
it
or you
just
can
doesn't attract you the same way it might somewhere
right,
else.
but you can get to Salinas and like we did. We stayed in Salinas for like 2.5 years, and we're like, okay, we can go somewhere else.
Yeah,
We're not tied to
and it wasn't
Salinas.
because we didn't like it.
Right, we're
We
not
did like it.
tied. We can
Yeah,
go anywhere we want to go, and that's the luxury of being able to just get up and move and go where you want to go.
yeah,
Um, Keto was beautiful, but
yeah.
like he said, the altitude did not agree with me and didn't agree with him. So we kind of got in the middle, and so Cuenca
I
is.
don't even know when you call it middle. Quake's only like 1,000 feet lower, but it's a
Is it a
lot.
thousand?
It's only 1,000. Yeah,
Oh,
it's a lot easier to deal
it
with.
felt
Trust me. And like I wasn't dying or nothing in keto, but like waking up in the middle of the night and gasping for air, just all of a sudden, and then going back to sleep.
that
Like
felt like
that
dying. That felt like dying to me.
and of course, I didn't feel sick or anything, so I'm pretty sure like my body will get used to it over time. But we've been here for 6 months, and we're not completely. We're way better than we were when we first got here, but we're still not completely used to the altitude. We can go out and walk the hill near our house that we walked when we first moved here. That we were like, we will never walk up this hill again. I'm pretty sure we can walk up that hill now and not feel like we're dying. That being said, you're still gonna feel it. If you take more than 2 steps up here anywhere, then you
Oh
like you
yeah.
feel it.
Um, when I when we first got here, so there's we talked about this going when you're over near Parque de la Madre,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to Centro.
I
So
think
you
it's
have
Parque La Madre.
Parque
Maybe.
la Madre.
I think so.
Okay, Parque la Madre. But if you're going to Central, you got to walk across the river, to go up these 4 flights of stairs, and each
It's a high.
stairs is about what?
It's like 100-foot climb.
It's about
I don't
10.
know.
It's a lot of steps in
Yeah.
between the levels, the flights. The first flight it took me out, and I was just like, I don't know if I can make it up. So he was helping me, pushing me up the stairs.
Like, come on, sweetie, come on.
So now I can walk up those steps in one go.
Yeah, without stopping.
And
It depends on if you're carrying something.
that's a different story.
Yeah. Or if the sun is absolutely beaming.
That's another story.
You get you a bottle of water at the bottom before you go up. And we know it's really we know there's nothing like physically wrong with us because it's just people who have been here their entire life, they're just used to it. And you see people going up and down those stairs. Some people, we'll see people that they got to stop too.
Take a couple breaths.
Take a breath.
Yeah.
So it's not like there's just something wrong with us. It's just an altitude thing that you would have to get used to here, and something that you won't even have to consider, on the coast. But absolutely, you got to be ready for it here. You're welcome. Thanks for the honesty. You're welcome.
Now, cooking wise, I know some people have issues.
She's about to say that she ain't got no problems cooking. Her cooking's good though. I don't know what all these people are talking about.
First of all, no one has said that, but I happened to come across a cookbook and someone was explaining the altitude, how to cook here, and when you're in higher altitude than on the coast, sea level. Now, I cooked some beans here. They came. I mean, now granted, they had to soak for 24 hours. I had to.
We weren't starving. What'd you have to do to the beans, sweetheart?
For someone who
They were
likes
good.
to eat, you should just stop. But yes, I had to cook them. I mean, I had to let them soak. I did soak them, and then I cooked them on the stove for about 5 hours, and then I cooked them in the pressure cooker for 2 hours. Came out perfect. It takes longer. I bake cakes here. I'm not cooking it on 350. Sometimes it's like 325. It comes out okay. I've cooked several things. Cookies.
But there are differences in sea level. And if you're doing research, if you're looking at like altitude, this ain't Denver.
No.
All right, Denver's like a mile. This is 8,200 feet, like where we live. So you got to look that up, like the exact altitude.
What you talking about? Denver is a mile. What?
Denver's a mile. It's 5,280 feet.
Oh.
Well, that's a mile, but I don't know exactly how high Denver is. But it's around there. But it's 8,200 feet where we are. And the city, has some hills. There are higher places in the city. And Quito's like 9,000 and something. So keep that in mind if you're doing some research. Like you wanna look that up because that.
And you may need oxygen. They do sell oxygen here.
Yeah, the sports store.
Yeah, if you need it. So
I might go give me a can.
So far, I haven't had to purchase any.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to in Keto though.
Yeah. B, that's actually a good question because if you mean like in town, as in like Central.
The bus. Hold on. Before you cannot give.
Well, I was about to explain.
Okay,
like why,
we cannot give you a time because depending on how many people getting off
and getting on,
and getting on, it can be an hour to an hour.
Well, it depends on where we're going. That's what I'm getting at. That
okay.
Like, if it depends on where you are. City is just like a bowl, and Central is literally like in the middle. So if you mean like getting in the Central, it depends on which bus you're taking because not all of them go through Central. Some of them stop right outside Central, which you can kind of walk from there anyway. It literally just depends on where you're coming from, and
where you're trying to go.
And where you're trying to go because it could be 10 minutes or it could be 45 minutes. It just depends on what part of the city you're coming from. Because some buses, if they're busy, more people are getting off at the stop. So the bus driver will pass the stop if no one hits the buzzer. if you're on one that's busy and like it stops at every stop because someone's either getting on or people are getting off, it can just take a lot longer.
Yeah.
So if we want to go certain places across town, oh, and the routes can go around. So
Yeah.
you might be going somewhere that if you drove, it would only be like 10 minutes. But if you take the bus, it might be 45.
And it depends on if you have to get on another bus to get to where you're going.
Right.
Because sometimes you have to take two buses to get close to where you're going.
Right. So that's
because you still may have to walk
right
10 minutes to wherever you're going. You're not. Sometimes the bus is literally not going to drop you off at the door of where you're going to.
There's assigned bus stops, and that bus stop might be 4 or 5 blocks. That's the bus stop that's closest to where you're going, but you still got to walk 4 or 5 blocks to get to where you're going. So you got to keep that in mind, like with if it's hot or if it's raining or something like that, or if it's uphill.
Because we get our steps in.
Yeah,
we walk about anywhere between 5,000 to 8,000 steps.
If we just go out to do anything.
If we go out.
Yeah. And that's,
Now, if our bus doesn't come, we can definitely hit 10,000.
Because if we end up having to walk to a further bus stop where there's like more consistent buses, but it's just a longer walk, and it's just something where we're mentally prepared for.
We've gotten accustomed to it.
We've really gotten accustomed to it. Honestly, these walks that we have sometimes where we're going to like a somewhere far from a bus stop, we would have thought that was forever in the United States. Like, ain't no way we would have walked that far. And when you really think about it, it really ain't that far.
It really isn't. But after you walk it, when you first walk it, it seems like, man, are we ever? Especially if it's hot.
Oh yeah.
If the sun is out,
it's always doing one or two things. It's either hot or it's raining. It's rare that it's just like perfectly comfortable, like shade, like a little cloudy.
Oh yeah.
Like a little cloudy and sunny, but it's not beaming on you like that. Whenever we're walking somewhere, that's not what's going on. It's like it's hot or it's raining.
But we've had some good days.
Yeah, we've had some good days.
Yeah. Because if there's an overcast, you get a nice breeze.
It's perfect.
It feels wonderful.
Perfect. What we were talking about. Oh, yeah. So yeah, if you walk in, when it comes to getting in and out of the city itself isn't that big. But if you're talking about getting in and out of Central, it just honestly, seriously, just depends on where you're coming from. Mm-hmm. If you're on a train goes through both ways, right through Central, and you're talking about train's a fast way to get around, honestly.
Not always.
Well, most of the time.
The train, if you're going into Central, you can take the train. It does go through Central.
Yeah.
Now you just really need to know where your stops are and know that you're still going to have to walk to wherever you got to go.
Yeah, unless it's right along the train line.
Right. Henry says healthy to me. Exactly.
Yeah, well, we got our steps, and like we ain't complaining. Trust me. The only time we complain is like we were talking about earlier when we're carrying heavy bags. And
I done lost some weight. Yeah. I done lost at least 10, 15 pounds.
Yeah. I'm hovering around the 240. I'm hovering around same weight, but I'm definitely getting a lot more steps in, which is just as long as you're not doing like strenuous stuff. Like if you got like knee problems like me or back, if you're not doing strenuous stuff like trying to get out and walk is healthier. It is healthy.
But we don't do a lot of walking because sometimes it bothers his knees.
No, we don't do a lot if we don't have to. Absolutely.
And his feet. So we're not doing.
We're not just randomly like, oh hey, let's just go walk here. No. We get off the bus stop as close to where we're going as possible.
Yeah, he definitely would be mad. I would get side eye.
Like, all right, how long are we gonna be walking around? You go. But yeah, Henry, it is healthy. So if you are an able-bodied person and you come to Cuenca, it is very walkable, and you will actually be surprised that if you're looking for like a bus or the direction. If you're on Google and you look for the direction for a place, it tells you how long it'll take you to get there. If you take the train, take the bus, take a taxi, a bike, a motorcycle, or walk. Well, what's crazy is we've been places that like I'm looking at it and it says, okay, 35 minutes if I take the bus. It's 15 minutes in a car, whatever, and it's 40 minutes if I walk. All right, well, 40-minute walk if you're in the U.S. sounds ridiculous.
We're not walking 40 minutes anywhere.
But what I mean is, it is. It's not nearly as far as it seems. Is my point. Because a 40-minute walk really isn't that far.
Yes, it is.
It is, but it isn't. You
It
know what I'm
is.
saying? It ain't.
It is. And you shouldn't even be talking with how your
No,
feet
no, no.
go.
I'm not saying for me. I'm just saying. Hold on. Let me get it right. I'm just saying if you're a walking type person, you like to walk. Some of these places aren't nearly as far. Like it'll take you the same amount of time to walk as it would take you to take a bus. And so if you feel like walking, you can absolutely do it. Just know that you might come across a hill or two,
And you're
and
gonna
you
come
might
across
change your
it.
mind. You might change your mind about that walk.
Well, it's too late. You're out there.
But
So
hey, you never know. We've changed our mind mid walk for a few places. That
oh
we
yeah, call it,
yeah.
taxi in a heartbeat.
Yep, this is too far. Since 5 years out, anticipate Transvia will do south to new airport and probably actually no. Okay, so let me back up. The new airport is they're not building a new airport; they're extending the current one. So the Transvia already parks right in front of it, like literally, like it
You
parks
get
right at
off.
the front door of the
Yeah,
airport.
you walk
You
right
can right across the
across
street.
to the airport.
So that won't change anything. They're putting a new bus terminal in away from where the current one is. So I think they're gonna have both, right?
I'm not sure.
I can't. Well, anyway, they're building a new one. It's not too far away, but it
It's
doesn't block so much
talks.
traffic.
It's talks about building a new bus terminal, but I don't know if that's has been approved.
Right.
But yes,
The current one is like 2 or 3 blocks from the airport on the opposite side of the street. So they're pretty close to each other, which is why if you're riding the bus or the train, there's always a lot of people getting on or off at those two stops because they're either coming out of the airport or coming out of the bus terminal or vice versa. But we were talking about so yeah, transportation and walking. It is absolutely doable if you
It's
come
very
here.
doable.
Yeah. Now if you have a wheelchair, that's a different story.
Yeah.
You rarely see people pushing someone in a wheelchair here.
But we have seen people in wheelchairs.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's not totally inaccessible. It's difficult, especially you're in any place with a lot of hills. It's gonna be difficult.
Where I've seen a wheelchair get on the train more so than I've seen a wheelchair on a bus.
Yeah, even though all the buses have the wheelchair
Lift.
accessible lift, I've never seen a wheelchair and a wheelchair space on all the buses. But the train, yeah, you see it a lot more often. Ross said, "I'm a walking type person and rather walk than take transport. It's more affordable and healthy." Yeah, hey, as long as your knees can handle it, go for it. Get you a good pair of shoes, and it's definitely a bonus. You may have to, depending on where you live in the city, you may have to take a bus closer to the areas of the city that you're going to be walking around in, so you can walk from there, obviously. But it's certainly walkable. That's something that you don't really see a lot in the U.S. And people talk about like walkable cities. This is a walkable city.
And they have so many parks
Yeah.
and walking trails, so you definitely can get your walk in and exercise because at a lot of parks here, they have exercise equipment
Yeah.
in the parks, and you do see people out there using them.
Yeah.
They have a lot of soccer fields,
Oh, yeah.
parks for kids. Like it's a family friendly environment where you can go have picnics. Cause we've seen people have picnics and just out just
The whole family just
out
at the park, just
enjoying
having
themselves.
enjoying themselves, and it's honestly it's a beautiful thing
It
to
is.
see because they really take family is really serious here. Family and friends, you really see it a lot, and it's one of the coolest things you'll see here. And I can't speak for like other countries, but that's just something we've really noticed here in Ecuador.
Yes, and they'll very like come on in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
welcome
very
you.
welcoming. Yeah.
And it's go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that like the our health, like how we look at our own like personal health being here
Okay.
versus the U.S. We had a lot of you had a lot of options when it comes to like medical care or whatever in the United States. It's just really costly. you may have fewer options here, but then it seems like you get more care, like
Personal care.
personal care, like where it seems like a doctor or a dentist or whatever is more concerned about you than like trying to sell you on some kind of
Yes.
product.
And my experience, each doctor that I have come in contact with, very personable. You actually have a conversation about your health, and they want to come up with a plan for you to get better, whether they use modern medicine or a holistic approach. And I really enjoy that because every doctor that I've come in contact with, I've enjoyed. Like it's it's not something I've experienced when I was in the States. I did have one doctor that I communicated with, but not on the same level as here. I can literally pick up my phone and ask a doctor about an ailment, and they will respond. In the States, it has to go through after hours nurse. That nurse contact the doctor. The doctor may contact you or have the nurse call you back, or you just have to wait
Yeah,
until the following business day before you can speak to them about your situation.
yeah.
So here it's been by far just amazing.
It's almost a 180. You know,
Yes.
it's and it seems
It's
I don't want to make it seem like they don't have equipment here.
Oh, they have
They have
modern.
everything
They
here.
have very the doctors I've been to, the offices I've been to. Like when I was on IESS, um, some of the doctors I've been to, you don't need all this.
You don't need a bunch of fancy stuff for them to
Yeah,
tell you what's wrong.
because we're here to talk about what's going
Yeah,
on, and um, the sonogram, the echograms, cardiologists, all of that. Those things are up to date. Like they are modern things. They're not some outdated
yeah,
equipment that you found back in the 1920s.
yeah.
Um, but the feel of having house calls when I would say back when I was growing up, when a doctor would come visit and see you, you still have those things, and I like those things because if you're too sick to get out the bed, it's nice to have a doctor come check on you and visit you and not have to.
Yeah, that option is definitely available. So you don't have to get on a bus and you're sick and the bus is crowded. You might have to stand up. Like you just don't want to go through all that.
Right.
Um,
I mean, you can call a taxi, but
yeah, but I'm just saying that it's the convenience of having someone actually come see you or call you. Like it's just crazy convenient.
yes,
Um,
it's
it,
awesome.
yeah, so that is something that I don't even say you got to get used to it because you don't have to get used to it. You should just enjoy it if you're here.
Yeah, it's definitely a
The
great
care
benefit.
the care itself is what's great. You know,
Yeah,
there was something else, and
you
my mind
you.
keeps like.
you
But while I'm thinking about it, while everyone's here, you check out our other channels. We try to stay busy. LaShawn's been doing a little cooking lately on her channel, and I've been talking about movies and stuff like I always do. I really appreciate anyone here who subscribes to the other channel because I'm over 2,000 subs on that channel, so I really appreciate it. Thank you. So we're trying to grow as much as we can, stay busy, and it's not just all Ecuador content. We try to
it
entertain the
varies.
masses in
It
any way we
varies.
can.
We're not a one way set of people.
Yeah.
Raul said it's going to take him a bit to get used to it. He's coming from 1,000 feet.
No, he didn't say that. B said
Oh,
she's coming from the
oh,
feet.
oh, okay.
She's
I'm
telling him
sorry.
that he's got
Oh,
to,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Being walkable city fits our life. This is VNS. Always looking for great cafes and coffee shops. There's lots of coffee shops,
Oh,
lots of cafes. You'll be walking and just randomly smell the best smelling coffee and then bread. There are
oh,
bakeries and bakeries and coffee
the
shops everywhere.
bakeries will get you in trouble.
Yeah,
The bakeries, because that bread smell. Oh, and it is so delicious. so delicious.
Yeah.
The croissants, just the bread itself. They have different types of bread: sweet bread, regular bread, rolls. It's amazing.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah.
And
Found myself. We were going to the bakery every week, and I gained 5 pounds, and I
yeah,
was like, nope, I have to avoid this.
yeah, yeah. So if you are walking and you're looking for coffee shops, be prepared because you're gonna find them, and you're gonna find a lot, and you're gonna find a lot of bread, and you may have to do a whole lot of extra walking, walk off some of those carbs.
But it's so good.
Yeah, and what I think the craziest thing is like whenever we walk past some random bakery, we're either going somewhere maybe to eat, or we just ate. So that's the only reason we don't go in there and buy something. And maybe that's a good thing.
That is a good thing. That is a good thing. Because when I was in Salinas, this bakery in Libertad, they would make this roll, this sweet roll, and it was only $1.
Oh, damn, so good. Oh,
Goodness, did you have?
I just thought about it. I just thought about it.
It made the best French toast. You remember I made the French toast because
Oh yeah, I remember.
it was similar. It was similar to challah bread.
Yeah. Oh man, that stuff was so good.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
So, yeah, be careful with the bakeries because they can definitely have you put some weight on.
Now we don't need any noise canceling earplugs or anything.
Private insurance, I just pay. It's reasonable. You can pay whatever the doctor, the $40, the $30 or whatever. It's usually not more than $40. So, yeah, you can get private insurance if that's whatever you know.
It's all affordable.
Yeah.
Private or the government or like pay out of pocket. Whichever one's better for you, it's all affordable.
Quick question: flights back to the States. What route would you recommend for the occasional trips to Miami? Oh,
Just first of all, if you're going to Miami, I guess that's fine. I don't. Miami's so we've had so many bad experiences going to Miami. Like there's always some thunderstorm rerouting flights or something, or delays. But if you're just going to Miami, it's from here. Just go to Panama or Bogota. It's so Avianca will go to Bogota, and what's the other one? My Panama one. Why can't I think of it right now? We've flown it so many times.
what
The airline. Why can't I think of the?
Copa?
Yeah. Whew,
I'm
thank you.
like, what are you?
Copa. Copa flies out of Guayaquil.
Yes.
If you're in that area of the country, like the southern area of the country, Copa will take you to Panama City and then to Miami. There's other flights to Miami. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It just depends on where you're coming from.
But yeah, Miami has not been good to us,
No.
so we have nothing really
It
good.
didn't matter which direction we were coming to Miami from.
Yeah, it's just
From the West Coast, from Europe, yeah, it's just always a bad experience. But yeah, going there, if you're going to Miami, there's plenty of options, and most of the airlines here, they'll have like prices displayed. So if you go like a travel agency or something, there's almost always a price displayed for Miami because it's one of the places people go the most from here.
yeah.
Like there's flights from here in Cuenca to Miami. I'm not sure how they route it, but you can definitely get from here to Miami pretty fast.
B, I make my own sourdough bread. Bakeries are a delicious temptation, specifically the ones in the Sierra.
Yeah, the bakery that was closest to us had shut down, and then like a new owner came and put a new bakery there. So we haven't gone quite as much as we used to because we're trying to slow down on the bread because it was like a weekly thing to go spend $1 to get like 5 pieces of croissants or whatever.
Yeah, this one is a little bit more.
Yeah, it's like $4 something like that.
But it's only.
Yeah, Latam Quito to Miami is 4 hours. Yeah, if you're in the northern part of the country, like closer to Quito, that's definitely an option. For us, it would take us longer to get to Quito than it would take to fly to Miami from here, by a mile. So yeah, if I can't tell you about like other cities, so like whether it be like LA. No, LA is pretty easy to get to also on Copa.
Yeah, because
it's far from
we flew from here to Panama to go to.
LA and then
Yeah.
to yeah. So you can absolutely
Yeah,
get.
there's different. There are a lot of routes. Uh,
I don't know. I think Houston might have a faster one too. I can't remember. But yeah, there's definitely ways to get to the United States pretty fast, and it's usually through Panama City because Panama City's airport flies everywhere. So getting to Panama City is really easy from here, and even if you have to book two flights, if you want to do it like that, depending on where you're going. But yeah, if you just want to go to Panama City, you need to go to like L.A. or Utah or whatever. Go from Panama City because they definitely go wherever you're trying to go.
yeah, and didn't they have that? You can stay up to
Yeah,
7 days.
you can stay up 7 days without a visa if you
Hmm.
fly into Panama
Panama.
City. So yeah, book you a few days to stay there and tour the area. You don't need to get any special visa or anything like that. It's pretty convenient.
And no extra cost.
Yeah, yeah. And if you're in Panama City, they got everything. If you don't feel like going back to the States for something, like they got it in
Yeah.
Panama City.
It may be a little bit more expensive,
Yeah, a little
but
bit. Yeah. They definitely got it.
they definitely have it.
Yeah,
And we love Panama. It was just too Panama City.
yeah.
It was just
We didn't get a chance
too.
to visit the rest of the country.
Yeah, it was too humid.
It's too hot. Ugh.
But we have definitely enjoyed these 3 years
Yeah.
being in Ecuador, traveling around the world. We haven't traveled this year's just yet.
Well, we kind of did in the past year because we went to.
I said this year.
Well, this year, yeah, okay. I'm thinking about the past year, anyway.
So, hopefully, we'll come up with some plans. But right now, we're just relaxing, enjoying our time in Cuenca.
Focus on, got to get our visa, our permanent visa, so it makes it easier to travel, honestly, for longer periods of time.
Yeah.
Because we would definitely be doing that. That's why we traveled so much on our last visa because we had to renew it. But yeah, that's something we're absolutely looking forward to. Great to know. Thank you. Hopefully we'll be back with another live stream like this in a year. and actually a year from now we should be either getting or have our permanent residency around this time.
Yeah, I think next year we'll be working on our permanent
Yeah.
residency. So yeah, we probably spend more time out of.
We'll definitely be spending more time. Not saying there's something wrong with the country. We just want to travel.
I mean, we'll probably visit other areas of Ecuador because he still wants to go.
I still got to get to the Amazon. I know she don't want to do it. But yeah, I'm going to get to Amazon pretty soon. Well, not pretty soon, but whenever.
We want to go to Galapagos as well.
Yeah. Galapagos, for anybody who's happen to be interested, is not cheap to get to or stay. It's not crazy expensive, but it depends on what you want to do.
It depends on what you want to do.
It can be expensive, or it can be
because you can do a land or you can do a cruise.
Right.
So it varies. I don't know. I would like to see the little blue-footed
boobies, even though we saw them in Salinas, but yeah.
We saw the blue-footed birds. Oh.
At Chocolatera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Those birds are everywhere, not just the Galapagos around here. Not here in Cuenca though, but I mean near the coast. So yeah, we're gonna do some more traveling. Hopefully, we'll be back in a year, talking about some great adventure,
some new exciting
things.
Yeah.
Baños. Yeah, we haven't been to like Baños, like the city, actual city of Baños. There's a Baños de Cuenca, which is near Cuenca, where there's like hot springs and stuff. We've been there, but the other Baños we haven't been to because we're just not like the.
Wait,
we're not really. That's where you go to do like bungee jumping and stuff like that. We're not doing it. You almost said hell no. We're not doing that.
No.
So that's a place that like.
I don't need to swing on a swing over the.
Yeah, we did that. We had the option. We had the option to do that in Bali, and we looked over that cliff and we were like,
because if that rope broke,
that's it.
The first thing they said, "Well, why did you do it? Yeah. Well, what made you want to do that?"
It was $10. Like.
Have broke leg, broke hip.
If you come out of it with that.
If I came out, be stuck up in a tree somewhere.
Yeah.
But no. We've done our hiking and all of that.
We've done enough.
Yeah.
We've done enough. We don't need to add any danger on top of the things because we want to continue to do things.
You know, when you get older, you start thinking about like,
I know we look young, but yeah, we got too many years on us to do something that's borderline foolish. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say that somebody does some extreme sport or whatever it's foolish because you do whatever you want. Just saying for us, it's not necessary.
it would be me that rope would have broke.
I've been in enough life threatening situations at my job for 20 years. I don't need to
We're not
I don't
trying
need
to
to pay. I don't need to pay for any life threatening situations.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there are waterfalls there. Yeah.
Oh, I love the waterfalls because I fell in love with the waterfall that we saw in Alaska. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, when I tell y'all, this is kind of a side story, but it wasn't like hot out there. All right, and we're like at this glacier and this waterfall, and LaShawn loved it so much. Like she took her jacket off, and I'm like,
I could have got in the water.
It was like mist coming off of this thing, and I'm like,
what was like 50?
It had to be, and that water was ice cold. It was literally coming. It was ice. It was ice water, and oh man, yeah, like I could tell she was loving it because she had a jacket off. She was like, oh my goodness, this is great.
It was beautiful.
It was a little chilly.
Yeah, so I do love waterfalls, so that will be something I would be interested.
We'll probably get there. Actually, our friend was asking us to go to Banos, take a trip there.
It's all fun. It's the sudden stop that hurts.
Yeah, only for a second. But thank y'all for watching, and thank you for tuning into the channel. You can check out our other content, links in the description. And
shoot us any questions.
Yeah.
In the comments,
or even ideas. If you have an idea of something that you might want to see, if you're not here and there's something you want to see, let us know. There's a lot of stuff we do, honestly, that we don't even put out. Because we don't take video. We just do a lot of stuff on our own.
Yeah, because sometimes you can't record the moment.
You can't film everything.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just don't want to. Like, even it's something that may be something that y'all would want to see, but at the same time, I don't want to just be pulling out a camera instead of enjoying what it is we're doing.
Because sometimes you gotta live in the moment.
Yeah. So, like I said, there's lots of stuff that
and we'll try to catch a lot of stuff we think that
might be interesting.
Of interest. Yeah. If we're in a different location, other than like when we went to Palte and saw the tour. Fruits and stuff. Yeah. So if we go on a tour, we'll definitely try to record that.
Yeah.
And try to give you more information about Ecuador.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks everyone. Thank you, Jay. And we will be back, as soon as necessary. I don't know. We'll see.
But thank you.
If there's a reason to do a live stream, we'll do one. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for all of our supporters. We really appreciate it.
Yep. So until next time.